Hi, I'm Jane, and on today's Friday Foodie, I'm bringing you a chocolate chip cookie that's a little bit healthier than a normal chocolate chip cookie. Now, these are cookies that I came up with when my boys were little growing up because I wanted to give them something with a little bit of nutrition, and we dubbed them the Mombo, M-O-M, Combo. So today I'm going to share with you the vegan version of this cookie, updated even further from those days. And even though I'm calling it a little healthier version, always keep in mind that a dessert is something for a special occasion, should be eaten in small bits, and is not to be indulged in on a daily basis, especially someone with type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes. You want to be sure that anything that is a dessert that you have in very small amounts and that you really limit it to only special occasions. So let's get started with this healthier version of a chocolate chip cookie. All right, remember in the old days it was made with shortening? Okay, what I changed it to at that time was peanut butter for my kids. Now I'm using almond butter because I like the nut butters. I can get them raw, and this today is the creamy almond butter from Trader Joe's. And I'm making a very small batch of these cookies, and so this is just half a cup of almond butter, and I'm getting that in that big bowl there, and we're going to add to that, instead of 3/4 of a cup of sugar, brown sugar, combination with white sugar that most chocolate chip cookie recipes call for, I'm using 2/3 of a cup of a coconut palm sugar. Now, why use coconut palm sugar? Because it comes in lower on the glycemic scale at 35 instead of 60, which is regular table sugar. So we're going to use the organic coconut palm sugar. There's also trace nutrients in coconut palm sugar, so we're going to use that. And we're going to mix that together with our almond butter, just like, remember, you creamed the shortening with your sugar. And I'm going to cream this all together. And okay. Now, because we're making this vegan, what I did before I started today, I made my egg substitute. And my egg substitute is 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal, and add to that 3 tablespoons of liquid, which for the cookies, because I don't want this to have any different flavor, I just used water. And so I mixed that together. And what this does is it creates a gelatinous substance that takes the place of an egg. So I'm using, because this again is a small batch, I'm using 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal mixed with 3 tablespoons of water as my egg. So I'm going to now add my egg, and I'm also going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Do not buy that artificial vanilla and stuff. Always real vanilla. Okay, so there's my real vanilla. Okay, and now I'm going to stir this up a little bit more. Okay. All right, and we've got a nice creamy mixture here that now we're going to add the rest of our ingredients to this. So what I'm using is, again, to get rid of having all flour, I've used old-fashioned oatmeal, a half a cup. I've also added a half a cup of whole wheat pastry flour. Now, it is whole wheat, but pastry flour means it's been ground down very fine, so it's still a fairly processed flour. We don't want to use a lot of flour at any time, but that's a nice substitute to avoid using white flour, and it still makes it a light cookie, a good flour. And then I've also added half a teaspoon of baking soda, which I need to work its magic in our cookies here. So we're gonna stir this all together. Oh, and also I decided I wanted to make these chocolate today, so I added 2 tablespoons of a natural cocoa. This is Penzeys Natural Cocoa. I always have it on hand. It's a nice dark cocoa. You can use any kind of cocoa that you want if you want to make your cookies chocolate, but they don't have to be. You don't have to add the cocoa, and it doesn't change your ingredients. So, and because I'm using a spoon, it's a little bit harder to stir up than if I threw this in my mixer, but I didn't want to go deal with that noise today, so I am. And too, this reminds me of being a kid and helping my mom stir up the cookie dough. Remember those days? Not many of us do that kind of baking anymore, but if you do, these are a great substitute. Okay, just about got this all together. And now I am going to add about 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips. And because I'm making this a vegan version, I'm using a vegan chocolate chip. And these are the Trader Joe's semi-sweet chocolate chip. They have no dairy in them, so I'm going to use them. When I'm not doing vegan, I really like the Ghirardelli bittersweet chocolate. Those are really nice dark chocolate chip. Okay, so once I get this all mixed together, what I'm going to do is scoop this up into about 1-inch size balls, and I'm going to use my fingers here. Let me show you. So we're gonna make these into small balls like so. All right, and I'm gonna put these on my baking sheet, and I'm gonna bake them at 350 for, I'm gonna start with 8 minutes. It may possibly take 10 minutes. That's something just as they come out of the oven you want to see. You want them to have kind of flattened out a little bit, and so it takes 8 to 10 minutes depending on the heat of your oven. So I hope you'll give these a try. I'll add a picture down below of the finished product. Just remember, dessert needs to be in small amounts, okay? And I hope you enjoyed today's Friday Foodie. I hope you'll give these cookies a try. Just send me a message if you have any questions. And if you like this video and this recipe, please share it with your friends. And I'll see you next week on the Friday Foodie at JaneAnnThompson.com. See you later. Have a great one. Bye.